Are you a people pleaser? Let's find out. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. So I was having a conversation with a lady who is a self-confessed chronic people pleaser. And after the conversation, I thought this is worthy of a conversation on Happy Stuff and Fluff, because if you are a people pleaser, not even a chronic people pleaser, if you are a people pleaser, you could be, in fact, you probably are, sabotaging your scope for happiness. Now, you are women over 50, so by now you will know whether or not you are or would consider yourself to be a people pleaser. But if you need some clarification, here are 4, I guess, biggies that might make you think, well, actually, yes, I probably do have a tendency to be a people pleaser. And here they are. I'll talk about them in a bit more detail in a second. But always apologising. Do you find yourself doing that? Do you pretend to agree with everyone? Are you afraid of conflict, and do you deny your hurt feelings? And this, of course, is the real big one. Do you find yourself saying yes when you really, really want to say no? Okay, so if you recognise yourself in any of those things, then the chances are you are a people pleaser. And you know, I have to say that, obviously, on Happy Stuff and Fluff, all of my viewers are lovely, lovely people. And I am not suggesting you be anything other than that. Being kind and being nice to people, especially being kind, is up there in one of the interventions that increase our happiness levels. But like anything else, if you overdo these things, it can have the adverse effect. And this is what we want to stop or prevent from happening. Now, my generation of people, I guess this generation too, but certainly my generation, I was brought up to say yes to everything my mother wanted. Woe betide if you went up against her in any way or disagreed with her in any way. And we were taught almost as implicitly or explicitly as a little girl, if you wanted people to like you, you were nice, you played nice, you did nice things for people, and so on. And so it's hardly surprising, is it? But we now know that, as I say, being overly nice like that has a detrimental effect on your health and well-being. Always apologising. I mean, certainly in the UK, there's even comedy skits about the fact that in the UK we apologise for apologising and, you know, apologise if our face gets in the way of someone's foot. It isn't funny, really. But always apologising can stem from feelings of low self-worth. You know, a belief that if something goes wrong or if something happens between you and someone else, then it must be your fault. You must be the one at fault. It can also stem from anxiety, particularly social anxiety. So if you're kind of concerned about saying or doing the right thing, and because you're so concerned about it, you have a kind of skewed view about what is saying the wrong thing, and so apologise needlessly very often in order to compensate. So, and then literally saying sorry for being sorry and saying sorry. Whew, such stress that can cause too. Can cause you. And then pretending to agree with everyone. This is a conversation that I was having. You're a person who someone might say something to you and you agree with them, and then someone can come along the next minute and say exactly the opposite to that, and you would agree with them too. Simply because, well, you may find it difficult to express an opposing opinion. That could be something that's at the back of that. Or it could be this feeling of wanting to be accepted, which is what I'm talking about, I guess, when I say when we were children, this is what we were taught to do. People will like you if you are the same as them, if you agree with them, if you play nice. It leads some people to have a very strong need for approval. and getting that approval from somebody else, excuse me, is very dangerous. If you agree with everybody all the time, your true self never actually comes out. If you don't express your true opinion and that stays in all the time, then you can start to feel miserable or unhappy without even knowing why. And it's because you are denying your true, authentic self in the need for, or in the search for, approval from other people. And I love this quotation from Lecrae, the American Christian rap singer actor, who says, "If you live for people's acceptance, then you're going to die from their rejection." And if you think about that, it speaks for itself. If it's so desperate for you, if you're so desperate that someone gives you their approval, what happens to you if they don't? If they reject you, where does that leave you? Then if you're afraid of conflict, you don't like to upset people. Well, of course, none of us do, but sometimes it might be necessary. You agree and go along because it makes for an easy life. So you deny your hurt feelings. If someone asks you to do something and you, or you disagree with them in any way, let me get that right. So, because what I want to say is that sometimes people are asked, "Are you okay about this?" And they will say, "Yes, I am okay about it," when really deep inside they feel very hurt by something, but they don't express that hurt. Well, I've talked in previous videos about negative emotions and how important they are to us and how important they are to be expressed, because if you keep suppressing the negative emotions, they are like a beach ball. They might go down to start with, but they will keep popping up somewhere along the way and cause you problems, come back to bite you on the backside, basically. And so if you keep these feelings in all the time, it can lead to physical illness and problems, stress, depression, but also heart disease, all kinds of things if you spent your whole life suppressing these hurt feelings. So it is dangerous. In the extreme, it's a dangerous thing to do. It's not just about, sabotaging your scope for being happiness. It can make you ill, quite seriously. And then, of course, this one, finding yourself saying yes when you want to say no. Well, again, we all do that. Someone asks you, can I ask you a favour? And immediately you think, oh, this person's always asking for something and I know I'm not going to want to do it. But because you either love the person, because it could be a family member, or they are your friend, or you feel their need, or you are empathetic and compassionate, you think, yes, okay, I will help. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said earlier, this is about, being kind to someone, putting yourself in their shoes and seeing their need or feeling their need is a good thing to do. Sorry, I had to get that call. So where were we? Yeah, talking about saying yes when really you mean no, and it could be a family member. It's okay to do that every now and then. If you find yourself doing that all the time, it starts to make you feel resentful, even bitter, but also exhausted, because if you have lots to do and you're the go-to person because you're the one who always says yes, then you're going to find yourself overloaded with things to do, and that causes stress and makes you exhausted. So I think often we do this because, for all these reasons, we don't want to hurt someone. Sometimes it can make us feel needed or important to be an important person in someone's life. We might behave this way because you might think it impresses your boss or your colleagues. You might think it's going to help you make a friend of someone if you constantly say yes to them, or even keeps the peace in the family. It doesn't. And I love this quotation by the Indian author Ritu Gaturi. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but she says, "You see a person's true colours when you are no longer beneficial to their lives." This is a real big one. Think about it. If someone's only in your life because you do things for them, okay, this is not a real friendship or relationship. It only sustains, this kind of behaviour only sustains artificial relationships. And at this time in our lives, we can do without artificial relationships. In terms of our happiness, we know that our relationships are right up there at the top of importance to us in happiness, but it's the quality of those relationships that's important. Authentic relationships that allow us to be our true, authentic selves. That's where our happiness comes from in terms of relationships. And we are going to talk about what that means, being our true, authentic selves, and how we can develop our true, authentic selves even more than we have done already by now. So just a little simple thing that I want you to do. I want you to take the no challenge, the Conroy concept, no challenge, the happy stuff and fluff, no challenge this week. And I want you to just say no to one small thing that someone asks you to do, that they often ask you to do, that you would really like to say no, but you find yourself saying yes. Doesn't have to be a great big favour that's going to devastate them if you say no. Tiny thing, just a tiny thing when they ask you to do. Be polite and respectful and lovely as you are, but say definitely no, I can't do that this time. Maybe I'll do a video on how to say no respectfully and lovelily. But before then, and until then, take the no challenge. Tell me in the comments box what you said no to if you want to, or tell me what happened when you did say no and how it made you feel. We'll talk about this again. And until then, remember that on the Happy Stuff and Fluff, we are getting happy and growing younger. See you next time. Bye-bye.